Felicity from GetYourRockOut, and I'm here talking to Klaus from Ugly Kid Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
I'm very, very glad to hear it. The last time we spoke to you guys was at Hard Rock Hill in Wales in December.
Oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah, so it was a lot colder than it is now, to say the least.
Yep.
So, I know you guys have been really quite busy since then. And
hmm
so give us a quick rundown of what you've been up to since last time we spoke.
Oh wow. Okay. Let me think now. Okay, about a year ago, right? Let's see what we've been doing. We've done a couple of tours. We did a lot of. Actually, this summer was really amazing. We did some great shows in Europe. We did some festivals in Eastern Europe. We did the Polish Woodstock. We did German classic German Wacken festival in Germany. So yeah, we kind of like fun stuff this summer.
Oh, brilliant, and that's really, really good to hear. And of course, it's not too long since you were over here last, and you're heading back here in November, which is hugely exciting indeed.
Yeah, we are.
Are you looking forward to getting back to the UK?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, it was just like working on some songs yesterday and kind of brushing up on the old stuff, and yeah, looking forward to it.
No, that's really good to hear. And of course, it's a cracking lineup as well. The tour, it's just going to be, I mean, every band that's playing is just brilliant. And are they a Skid Row band that you're really looking forward to playing with? Are they somebody that you always kind of think, what, we knew we're going to have a good time when we're with them?
I think so because we actually have. It's funny. We have some mutual, texts that work for them, that work for us over the last year and a half, and everybody's saying, yeah, you get on great. They're great guys, this and that. So we're like, cool. Let's do it. Let's bring it on.
Brilliant. Now I know that it's kind of audience-wise. I know that lots of people are very excited about seeing both, and people are going for both bands and not just one, which is, I think it's becoming more of a popularity lately. To send kind of very similar bands out together and do it that way. I mean, do you think that this is a better idea than saying having one kind of main headline band and then having much smaller support?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, we kind of were from the same time period, I think, like our heyday. So, I mean, they kind of had a little more of a heyday than we did, but nevertheless, it was like, kind of the same time period, and it's all hard rock, heavy metal, whatever. Go for it.
Fantastic. You're back to our shores before long. Have you had a good reaction from audiences now you're back out and now you're back doing the touring circuit? Are people, you're getting a lot of good response from people saying we're really excited about seeing you?
It's been great. I mean, I couldn't have even imagined it being this fun, like in terms of audience-wise, like, because, we've been out of it for a long time, and then we came back, a little over a year ago, and everything's been amazing. We've had some, like I said, I mentioned Polish Woodstock. We've had some shows that literally were the biggest shows we've ever played. And, so the festival, just even this last summer, like, it's been amazing.
I'm really glad to hear it. And so I'm guessing that you as a band have got absolutely no regrets on what you've decided to do.
Yeah, no, not at all. Of course not. You either do or you don't,
Definitely. And I think last time we spoke, it was a case of, you really didn't know how things were going to pan out for the next kind of few months. You didn't know how audiences were going to react. I mean, did you think that you'd be getting this much of a positive reaction when you had started?
Like I said before, I really had no idea, and the fact that it's been positive and all good has been great. I mean, when you play live, it's one of those things you kind of you do it because you do it, something you always ever do, and you don't really expect anything, and then when the response is positive, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's the thing that took it over the top, So that's kind of how it's been.
Fantastic, and that's really, really good to hear. Is there, if you had to kind of choose one moment or one fan comment or one gig that stood out that has kind of said to you, what, this is why we're doing this again, could you pick a defining moment?
Honestly, like I said before, the Polish Woodstock was insane. I mean, it's literally the biggest show we've ever put in our lives. And, you know, we were out of the picture for 15, 17 years, something like that. And we played some huge concerts back in the day, like in the 90s, you know, in Brazil and in, you know, Rock am Ring and things like that. And then we come back and we do this European tour, and we're, you know, playing clubs and stuff, and it's all great. And all of a sudden, you know, we kind of do this, one of the first festivals we did in August, I think it was, or whatever. And we played in front of, like, I don't even know, I think it was 200,000 people in Poland. And it was insane. I mean, it was like, what?
Wow.
It was a reality check for sure, and it was amazing.
I'm so, you know, it's so nice being able to speak to you, you know, back then and again now, and see just how much things have progressed in the last few months. Because it's been such a short space of time since, you know, since everything kind of started again and everything's been kind of coming up. When it comes to recording plans, do you have much in the pipeline when it comes to kind of recording?
Well, I'm sorry, a what?
Oh, sorry. Do you have much in the pipeline when it comes to recording? Are you planning a full-length album at any point soon?
You know, what we do is what we've always done is, like, we just, you know, in everybody's spare time, everybody kind of writes a couple of riffs here and there, and then after all the touring, we just kind of hopefully we'll get together and see what happens. You know, we have, you know, Dave's a great producer and happens to be in the band, so we will be like, hey man, we do this song, and he'll be like, yes, no, yes, no.
Okay, fantastic. And I mean, do you have any kind of vague idea of when you might get back into the studio, or are you very much just focusing on the touring side of things at the moment?
Well, yeah, we're gonna do the tour. We'll be done, I think, end of November, and then probably, you know, whatever, all do the holiday thing with the family and that stuff, and after that we'll get together for sure and see what we got.
Fantastic, and that's really exciting. And do you know whether or not, have you kind of made the decision as to whether or not you're going to be doing a full-length album or releasing another EP?
We do not have any. I mean, we look at it like, I mean, we didn't really know what we were going to do anyway on the comeback. We were like, we do this one song, we do 20 songs, we do 5 songs. We didn't really know, and then we realized, like, oh, it's that, you know, it's a whole different time period. You know, it's like you can release we might release a single on iTunes and just go with that. You know, we might do a full-length record. It doesn't. That's just like, I guess you can kind of do whatever you want now, and you can bring it to people in no time via, you know, iTunes, TuneCore, whatever. So we're kind of like, I don't think none of us feels any, like, pressure to do a certain amount of songs. Just like, you know, if we come up with some good stuff, let's release it, and you know, whether it be single by single or a whole album, you know, whatever.
Okay, fantastic. And so you're not kind of thinking, it's nice. I mean, so many bands are very much focused on, you know, getting the new release out, then getting the new release out, and so on and so forth. It's nice to speak to somebody who's, you know, not looking at it from that side of things.
No, I mean, yeah, the business side, it's like whatever. It's more like, oh man, this song's killer, let's release it now, or let's not, or let's, yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's a better way to do it as well in a lot of ways, because it just takes the pressure off and stops you putting out something that you're not necessarily very happy with.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and do you guys enjoy being in the studio together? Are you a studio band, or do you actually really just kind of see the studio as a necessary evil and just, you know, prefer being on the road?
You know what? I think it's a little bit of both. Like, sometimes it can be kind of a pain, but the cool thing about the studio is it kind of has that it's got that gratification at the end, like when you start seeing a song come together, something that's just kind of been in the air, or it's been, you know, whatever, on your fretboard, you see it actually come together. You're like, oh, cool, like, wow, now we're talking, you know. And it's kind of like mowing a lawn, or it's like, I don't know, it's this gratification you get, like, when you finally look back and you're like, wow, look what we did. It sounds killer, or hopefully it does, you know. So yeah, no, I think it's a beautiful thing. It's probably my favorite thing in the end of ends, like, is to hear something done that we did in the studio and worked hard on, and then, you know, you listen back and you're like, wow, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good, you know. You hope, you know. And that, I think, for me, it's something that's more permanent. You know, doing a live show is amazing for that moment in your life where you're like, yeah. And then, but recording something and putting it out there is like, oh, wow. All right. this is going to haunt me till the day I die, but I like it, so it's cool.
And are you the kind of person that kind of tends to go back over what he's done and say, oh no, I wish I'd changed this, or I wish I'd done this differently? Or actually, when you put something out, do you generally look back at it and think, you know what, that was brilliant. This is all I wanted it to be.
Well, I think early on there was times where like, oh man, I wish we would have done this, wish we would have done that, and then you keep listening to the song over and over again. And then fortunately, it was a giant hit record. No, I'm just kidding. It was. Fortunately, yeah. And you're like, man, I wish we had more time and that. And then you're like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I mean, if the song's decent or good or great or okay, whatever, it is what it is. And you just gotta, at some point, you just gotta let it go and move on.
No, definitely. And I know it's an impossibility to do, but if you had to pick the one song that you've released as a band that is your personal favourite, not necessarily for what it's achieved, but just because you like that song, what would it be?
Ooh, okay. Okay, that's tough.
Not to put you on the spot or anything,
No, that's fine. I never really thought about that way. I mean, I know the new stuff I really love, like Devil's Paradise, because it's kind of like got that, I don't know, something about it. It's got the killer riff and like an AC/DC vibe, debaucherous and evil and all that good stuff. And that was probably the new ones I loved the most. And then in the old days, I'd say like, I guess Neighbor, I think Neighbor has a great story and it's got a good riff. And I mean, I think of both things. I think of like the story that we're telling, and I think of like the music itself, like is it jamming, and then on top of that, it's like, is it something different or new or original or in some aspect or way? So yeah, those would be my favorite right there.
Fantastic. And the next kind of few months, I know you're going to be hitting the UK again, which we're all looking forward to. What else have you got coming up? What else are you thinking that you're going to be doing?
There is actually talk of doing Australia in next year.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Is that going to be Skid Row again? Because I spoke
it may be. Oh shit! So you got some secret information.
Maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah. No, I mean there was actually talk of that, and like that would be hilarious because honestly, in the beginning, that's the first thing we ever talked about was doing a tour in Australia with them, and it never materialized. And all of a sudden, it's starting to rematerialize. Is that a word? So I hope so.
Wow! Oh, fantastic. Well, in that case, there you go. A somewhat of a mini exclusive here. I like that. I can cope with that. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk when I'm pretty sure it's horribly early for you there, and you'd much rather probably still be in bed. But I'm
going to go right back to bed after this.
Well, thank you for getting out of bed to talk to me. It's been a pleasure.
No problem.
And
I love it.
Yeah, well, we're really looking forward to seeing you very soon.
Okay, I look forward to being there, and I mean, what is it, a month from now? Almost exactly.
Yeah, something like that. No time whatsoever. It's quite terrifying how quickly it's early November.
3.5 weeks, we'll be back.
Good grief. Well, fantastic. In that case, not long to wait at all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.